recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the National Junior Honor Society Recognition Ceremony. NJHS is more than just an honor roll. The National Junior Honor Society chapter establishes rules for membership that are based upon a student's outstanding performance in the areas of scholarship, leadership, character, citizenship, and service. These criteria for selection form the foundation upon which the organization and its activities are built. Here are the definitions for the performances. Scholarship. Students who have a cumulative grade point average of 3.5 on a 4.0 scale or equivalent standard of excellence, or a higher cumulative average set by the local school's faculty council, meet the scholarship requirements for membership. These students are then eligible for consideration on the basis of leadership, character, citizenship, and service within NJHS. Leadership. Student leaders are those who are resourceful, good problem solvers, promoters of school activities, idea contributors, dependable, and persons who exemplify positive attitudes about life. Leadership experiences can be drawn from school or community activities while working with or for others. Character. A student of good character upholds principles of morality and ethics, is cooperative, demonstrates high standards of honesty and reliability, shows courtesy, concern, respect for others, and generally maintains a good, clean lifestyle. Citizenship. The student who demonstrates citizenship understands the importance of civic involvement, has a high regard for freedom, justice, and democracy, and demonstrates mature participation and responsibility through involvement with such activities as scouting, community organizations, and school clubs. Service. This quality is defined through the voluntary contribution made by a student to a school or community, done without compensation and with a positive courtesy and enthusiastic spirit. Now we would like to share a video about our service project and some fun we had working together.
Number one, look how happy those kids are. Number two, no one was hurt in the making of the video.
Yeah, right.
It was fine. We believe she's here tonight. I'm Brett Plater, principal of Bingham Middle School. I appreciate you all being here. I do have a little speech, and I typed it out because if not, I'll ramble, and then we'll be here forever. So, I want to start my closing with a few stories. There's 3 of them. They're short, I promise. But the first one I'm going to start with talks about a man many years ago that lived in Kansas City. He worked and was eventually fired from the Kansas City Star newspaper because he was not creative enough. He launched a company called Laugh-O-Gram, which then went broke 1 year later. After being fired and failing at a startup company, it would not be surprising had he just given up on his dreams. Yet rather than giving up, he tried another adventure in Hollywood. And Walt Disney decided to create the Walt Disney Company, which built a franchise today that includes cartoons, movies, and theme parks. There was a single divorced mother that was living on welfare that decided to write children's books in order to support her family. She received endless rejections from publishing companies. She was told that children's books don't make any money, and that her books in particular were way too long to be children's books. But she continued to send in manuscripts. Eventually, Harry Potter was accepted and published. J.K. Rowling has now sold more than 400 million books and is responsible for the most successful and lucrative book-based film series in history. And finally, Rick Hoyt was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when he was born. As a result, his brain cannot send the correct messages to his muscles. Many doctors encouraged the Hoyts to institutionalize Rick at the time, informing them that Rick had little chance to have a normal childhood. His parents felt different. At the age of 11, after some persistence with doctors, Rick was fitted with a computer that enabled him to communicate with his parents and others. In 1977, Rick asked his father if they could run in a race together to benefit a lacrosse player at his school who had become paralyzed. He also wanted to prove that no matter what goes on in life, no matter what disability you have, life goes on. Dick Hoyt, his father, was not a runner and was 36 years old at the time, but went ahead and participated in the race, pushing Rick in his wheelchair. Rick loved the experience and wanted to race again. His father, Dick, asked why he wanted to continue to race, and Rick responded, "Dad, when I'm running, it feels like I'm not handicapped. After their initial 5-mile run, Dick began running every day with a bag of cement in his wheelchair because Rick was at school and studying and unable to train with him. Dick was able to improve his fitness so much that even when pushing his son, he was able to obtain a personal record of 17 minutes in a 5K race. Both son and father continued to compete in different races and even participated in the Boston Marathon. They also competed in triathlons. For the swim portion of the triathlon, Rick's father would use a rope attached to his body to pull Rick, who was sitting in a boat. For the cycle portion, Rick rides in front of a specially designed tandem bike. And for the run portion, his father continued to push him in the wheelchair. As of April 2012, the Hoyte competed in 1,077 endurance events, including 7 marathons and 6 Ironman triathlons. They had run the Boston Marathon 30 times, also adding to the list of achievements both father and son biked and ran across the U.S. in 1992, completing a full 3,735 miles in 45 days. I start with these stories because I want to share examples of courage, determination, vision, belief in oneself, learning from failure, and service to others. The characteristics expressed in these stories help them to overcome obstacles, naysayers, and eventually lead to their success. The students we are recognizing today share and demonstrate many of these characteristics, along with scholarship, leadership, character, citizenship, and service, the 5 traits of the National Junior Honor Society. I have no doubt, because of these character traits and with the support of their family and friends, these students will continue to be successful throughout their lives. I wanted to thank all of you for being here today to celebrate and recognize their achievement, both in school and outside of school, that have earned these 21 students, today 20 with us today, a place in the National Junior Honor Society. I am honored that I've had the opportunity to help educate such an outstanding group of young people. These students truly demonstrate the 5 characteristics of the National Junior Honor Society, which again are scholarship, leadership, character, citizenship, and service. I wanted to share a few facts with you to describe these 21 students altogether. As far as clubs and activities, these students have participated in scholar roles, student council, honor choir, yearbook, band, and orchestra. They're involved in sports. Some have done cross country, football, dance, basketball, soccer, track, as well as other sports. Some have been identified in the Duke University Talent Search. Some have been recognized for Character Traits of the Month. They have been recognized on the Principal Honor Roll and the Bingham Honor Roll. Their average attendance at school is 98.7%. To kind of put that in perspective, if we took all of their days that they could be at school, that's 2,604, or about 7 years. And in those 7 years, they would have missed 34 days. That's not too bad. Their average GPA collectively is 3.86, with 9 students with a 4.0. Very impressive. These students are very deserving of this recognition. I want to say thank you to each of them for their hard work, as well as a thank you to the parents, grandparents, family members, and friends who've helped instill qualities and the drive in these students to always strive for excellence in their own lives, while understanding the importance of giving back to others. Before we dismiss to the cafeteria, I'd like to recognize these students one more time. Students, when I call your name, please stand and come to the front and make a little line here, okay? And if everybody just kind of please hold their applause until I have them all up there. Zachary Baker. Mackenzie Bloodworth. Megan Brutch. Lily Connor, your niece. Cassie Curtis. Elizabeth Ebert. Autumn Farmer. Erica Figley. Sarah Gordon. Maureen Hennessy. Valerie Hodges. Izzy James. Angelica Johnson. Faith Kent, Riley LaRoche, Caitlin Laughlin, Tierra Lopez, Brennan McGraw, Ariana Pazienza, and Gabrielle Smith, aka Gabby. We also have Braxton Ward. He wasn't able to be here with us, but he makes the 21st student that will be inducted into the NJHS for next year. Let's give these kids a round of applause. I'll give a little time for pictures if anybody needs them. All right, go take a seat, kids. Thank you. Students, sorry. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Pitcher, our school librarian and NJHS sponsor. She worked hard with these students, making sure they complete their service projects and also organized pretty much this whole event. I also want to thank Ms. Filer. I don't know if she's in here. She is one of our ELL teachers, and she basically helped with all the decorations out there and got that set up. It looks great out there. Also want to recognize our two assistant administrators for being here. We certainly appreciate that. Mr. Temple and Ms. Drinkwater. They're in the back. In just a moment, we'll dismiss the cafeteria. Student projects are on display out there, so we certainly invite you to take a few minutes and kind of peruse and look at all of them. We also have cookies and punch that will be available to you. So at this time, students, you can stand and we'll let you go out there. Parents, friends, and family, well, family will be parents and grandparents, you are welcome here in just a minute to head on out, get cookies, get punch, mingle, peruse, talk, get pictures. You can come in here with the students if you want to get pictures. This candle ceremony we have up here will actually occur during the induction next year in the fall. So we'll really be inviting you back again in the fall, and it'll be a lot of the same setup. We'll have cookies and punch, and we'll actually do the induction ceremony at that time. Again, that's because of the middle school alignment. We're going to have more students that'll be with us next year that'll be going into William Crispin, so we want to make sure that we're all here when we do that. So thank you so much for being here. I certainly appreciate it. You have wonderful kids that do wonderful things. It is certainly an honor and a blessing to have them here with us, and we're going to enjoy them for at least one more year. So again, thank you very much for coming, and you're welcome to proceed out and get some cookies, punch, and check out all the little service projects. Thank you.